essentially this idea that you had a goal in mind, and you were just kind of putting your head down and putting one foot in front of the other. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And
right.
And has that helped you in quarantine as well?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Because motivation is at its lowest right now. Like, where it's hard to, you're not going into school, and it's just hard to keep up with classes when it's just all on your iPad, and it's just difficult. So you just gotta put your head down, do all the work, learn as much as you can. That's just been my strategy.
I think it's a great strategy, and it reminds me, and we were talking about it before, it reminds me of just some of the stuff, like if we're talking in through the lens of Spark Study Club, it's like you have a plan, you know what you're trying to do in one of those sessions. You know that you're trying to stimulate a new brain state, essentially. You're trying to trigger this cocktail of neurochemicals that's really beneficial for learning, attention, all those things. But when you start running, you're not necessarily like passionate or even super motivated to take the next step. Sometimes you just go, right? The recognition of this is, you at the front end of it, you say, this is going to be worth it. And then you just put your head down and go sometimes. And with the faith that there's benefit coming from it, and that it's probably not going to be like that forever, right? I picture the football field too, right? Like, the next sprint is going to be hard. You're tired, but we're probably not going to run until midnight. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a limit to this, and it's going to be worth it, and I'm going to grow from it. All right, Brody, what about you? What have been some helpful strategies?
For me, especially in quarantine, I'll talk about maybe last year, junior year for me, that third or fourth quarter, when you have that fallback safety net of being able to take your third quarter grades, and it's really, there's no real motivation to do anything. And I think I got caught in a rut really for a week or two where school work was really slipping. It's just because I didn't really have to do anything. And I kind of caught myself and recognized what was happening. And one thing that helped me out a lot was switching up my environment and going and working somewhere, doing all my academic work and stuff like that in a different environment than I'm used to. Especially because now I started associating that place with being on my phone or playing video games or something. So I'd rather be doing that than my schoolwork. So if I go somewhere else, take that somewhere else, do all my work there, and then I can fall back into that other environment in which nothing was getting done.
So your strategy is really a change of space, a change of environment. Have you found that to be effective, or do you recognize any parallels like to Spark or to sports in general?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's interesting. It's like with football, you could say with lifting, there is a lot of discomfort and things you don't want to do, but I do them without thinking about them because I like it. I like what the outcome is going to be. And I think something like schoolwork, where I might not necessarily like doing it, instead of being able to mindlessly do these things, I have to think about it and switch it myself in order to get those good outcomes. And just having a tool to step in like that, I think it's a lot easier to not think about it when you're doing fun things like preparing for sports or, I don't know, video games. It's just mindless in a sense, but sometimes you have to use a catalyst to get things going.
I like it. So you're kind of saying something pretty similar maybe to Genty. Like at some point it's going to be just about like putting your head down and doing the work, for sure. And the question is, I think I've heard two things now, like recognizing the purpose part, like this is going to be worth it, put your head down and go. And also the change of environment, that feels like a really important thing at home too, because like like you said, you don't want to just get caught up in the malaise or the routine of like just kind of existing, but it's a conscious change of environment that triggers that, okay, I've got a purpose, time to get disciplined, and then you start putting one foot in front of the other. Genty, you said you've got a specific space for that too, right?
Yeah, for sure. It helps me build good habits, like where I'm sitting, and like study habits, whether it's doing like assignments or studying for tests. But yeah, definitely helps me build good habits, being in a specific environment to do my schoolwork. But
I like that. I totally get it, guys. Well, I think it's thoughtful. I think it's smart for both of you. It sounds like it's been effective. So I hope some other people can pick it up and use it in their study routines and lives.